the world is full of traps to make men weak. At the same time, the world would treat you better if you were strong. Here is the reality: none of these traps are set up by accident. They have been set up to control you. Just take a look at the people that get put on a pedestal and the people that get canceled. If you control the minds of men, you control the population. Unfortunately, many guys have fallen for the agenda and have embraced weakness. Pathetic. What kind of man would allow himself to be brainwashed into forsaking his masculinity? No man. Let us discuss 5 disgusting habits that keep men weak. Number 1, friendship. When it comes to making friends in the modern world, men have no cure. In any other time in history, men knew that choosing bad friends would get you killed. You had to pick your friends very carefully based on certain principles and values you shared. Not only do guys no longer pick friends based on principles and values, they pick friends based on sharing some of the same bad habits that we are going to discuss in this video. I want you to think about that for a second. Guys are picking friends based on sharing destructive habits that keep them weak. Forget about honor codes and iron sharpening. Modern guys would rather be weak and comfortable together, and they are surprised when they get betrayed later on by their fake friends. Listen, we all know that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If 5 of your friends are weak cowards, you will be the 6th. If all your friends are snakes, you will turn into a snake too. It's better to be alone and strong than to be surrounded by weak and fake friends. Friendship is a big topic in itself. Number 2, social media. Social media is a lethal weapon that controls massive numbers of people. Take a look around you when you enter a restaurant or even in the gym. You will find people glued to their phones. They can't help it because they are slaves to social media. Do not misunderstand it. I am not saying social media is always bad. There's a lot of knowledge out there, and social media can be a great thing if you know how to use it. Either you use social media or you get used to it. If you are constantly scrolling online and discussing the latest trends, you are being used. If you are watching random short clips all the time, you are not only being used, but you have also allowed your attention span to get destroyed. Congratulations. You played yourself. Deep down, everyone knows this to be true, and yet no one takes it seriously enough. They allow themselves to become slaves to social media. Number 3, video games. What do you think about the vast majority of gamers being men? Video games play directly into a man's innate desires. Competition, conquest, and status, these are things men have always desired. And video games have made it easy to attain it. The problem is that it's a fake virtual reality. The creators of the video games are playing directly into the desires of men. If you Google how many women play video games compared to men, you'll find that it's nearly even according to Lord's statistics, and they don't even take you seriously enough to make it seem legit. Why? As I said at the beginning, none of these traps are set by accident. By playing around with the data, they are creating the false narrative that half the gamers are women. If you were to figure out a pattern for the majority of men being addicted to video games, you might come to the conclusion that they are playing to your desires as a man. This doesn't mean there aren't any good games out there or that you can never have any entertainment in your life. It means that if you don't dominate, compete, and level up in the real world, you have absolutely no business doing it in a virtual world like a worm. Number 4, sleep. Sleep is the fundamental thing that the majority of men need to improve on. I want you to understand that the longer you go without quality sleep, the more you are weakening yourself. You are directly weakening yourself by lowering your testosterone and brain capacity. Remember what I said about getting enough rest? There is a difference between getting an hour of sleep and getting quality sleep. I will give you a simple rule of thumb you should use when it comes to sleeping when it is cold. The 10-3-1 rule. 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no more eating. 1 hour before bed, no technology. Just following the 10-3-1 rule will drastically improve your sleep quality. There are more advanced things you could do to improve it even further, but that might be a topic for a different video. Number 5. Lack of emotional control. You will see many guys in the modern world getting emotional over minor issues. It is weak. The best men in the world have control over their emotions. That doesn't mean they never cry or lack emotions. It means they choose when they allow certain emotions to show. Emotional control is one of the most fundamental pillars of masculinity, and by believing the lies that it's good to cry and to be weak, you are voluntarily chopping down your own pillars of masculinity. If someone can make you emotional, it means they control you. Learn how to control your emotions instead of being a slave to them, and know how to use your emotions intelligently. A weak guy. You will never learn from your mistakes if you constantly blame other people and circumstances. It's easy to feel like a victim when something doesn't go your way. Know that there's always a choice in how you respond to events in your life. Listen. Taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and life can feel challenging, but taking responsibility and ownership of your life also builds character, grit, and self-respect. Ownership forces you to confront your weaknesses, shortcomings, and flaws head-on. When you feel the impulse to blame someone or something, pause. Take a couple of deep breaths. Zoom out to cultivate objectivity. What would an unbiased third party say about the situation? How would you characterize your role in creating this situation, accepting reality for what it is? See the complete picture. This includes any mistakes you may have made. Put your emotions aside and keep on moving. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time.